Now, I want you to do something with me right now, and it probably sounds a little crazy, but I want you to close your eyes for a second. And I want you to picture retirement. Not the retirement that your parents had or that the commercials show, but the retirement that you probably envisioned yourself. Walking with your spouse, walking on the beach, holding hands, and everything is absolutely perfect. Now, let's get real for a second because what does your retirement look like? The one that's actually waiting for you based on what you've saved right now, based on what Social Security is actually going to pay you if they're still around, based on real numbers. What does that picture look like? If that picture scares you and makes your stomach drop, if that picture looks less than a beach and more like a Walmart greeter badge, you're not alone. You're not crazy. You're certainly not a failure. You're just a Gen Xer. And you were set up to fail by a system that was never designed to take care of you. But here's what I need you to understand before we go any further. That picture, the scary one, is not your destiny. It's simply your warning. And warnings exist so you can change course before it's too late. My name is Kim Ryan, 53 years old, mom of 5, grandmother to 1, and a Gen Xer who was staring that same story right in the face. That was me. And because I decided to make a change, make a difference, learn something new, my best month so far online, working a full-time job, having kids, family, whatever, was an extra $40 to $100 a month. Working from my phone just 2 hours a day around my busy schedule. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how I am changing my retirement picture. If nothing else, just to give you hope that you have options out there. You don't have to settle because I want you to change your retirement plan if it needs changing. And what I'm going to share might make you a little angry, and then it's going to give you some hope. And then you're going to have a choice to make. Probably one of the most important financial choices that you make in your life. So let me tell you about our generation, Generation X. We grew up watching our parents live the American dream. Stable jobs, company pensions, affordable houses, predictable futures, predictable retirement age. And our generation thought that is going to be us someday because we went to school like we were told. We got jobs, we worked hard, and we saved money. We did everything right, every single thing. And the world changed, and nobody told us. Nobody warned us in our 20s and 30s that the world was going to be different, that pensions were going to disappear. Stable jobs are now contract positions. Affordable houses? Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? They're becoming so unaffordable for people. Our future became financial question marks. And we believe that if we just worked hard enough, consistently enough, it would be enough. And unfortunately, it's not. And right now, as we approach the years when retirement should be on the horizon, we are staring at a crisis that no one has prepared us for. The average Generation X household has $150,000 saved for retirement. To retire comfortably without any medical issues, mind you, experts say $1.2 million is needed. So that means an average Gen Xer is $1 million short of retirement. And we have maybe 10, 20 years to close that gap. To save $1 million in 15 years, you'd have to put away $70,000 every single year after taxes. Are you able to save that amount of money? Because I wasn't. Not even close. And Social Security is something that we've been paying into our entire lives. The program is supposed to be our safety net. But this program, so far from what they say, is projected to be depleted by 2033. 7 years from now. Which means by the time most Gen Xers reach retirement age, the program that we paid into for 30 years might only be able to pay us 77 cents on the dollar. If that. We paid in, we showed up, we did our part, and the system is only going to shortchange us anyway. And I'm not telling you this to make you panic. I'm telling you this because you deserve the truth. Because I know for myself, I've ignored this for so long. I just turned my head and thought things are only going to get better. And in actuality, with inflation and everything, they've only gotten worse. And the truth is, and I said this to myself, if I don't do something different, I'll never be able to retire. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of people are headed. Now, I want to talk about something that not many people talk about, and that is the invisible weight that Gen Xers experience every single day. You know, that feeling when you check your bank account and the number is way lower than what you expect. The feeling that you get when a big expense comes up and you have to figure out which bill to pay. That feeling you get when your kid needs something and you have to say no. Not because you don't love them, but because the math just isn't working. And the one that I hate the most is the feeling you get at 3 a.m. with that sudden panic because your brain immediately starts doing the retirement math because it's just not enough. I've been working corporate America for over 25 years. I've been laid off twice. My husband laid off once. We did everything right. We showed up for work. We worked the overtime. We worked weekends and holidays. But not only inflation, but it's medical expenses. We've had to deal with heart attack, several surgeries. Even with insurance, that stuff is expensive. And then you have kids on top of it. And recently I was thinking about my 3 kids that are currently in college, and I want to help them pay for college. But it's hard because it's like, how do you pay for the medical expenses, put money in your retirement account, and help your kids through college? How do you do all 3 when prices are skyrocketing right now? I decided that I wanted to do something different. I knew that I had to make a change and I didn't want to have to rely on anyone else. Because you know what? I was already relying on my employer for my paycheck. And what happened? They kicked me out the door. Not once, but twice in the last 10 years. So I wanted something that I can control, an income I can control. So I picked up my phone, I went on TikTok, and I started searching how to make extra money in your 50s, side income for people in their 50s, how to fund retirement when you're behind. And most of the stuff was like whatever. I just blew off. Like survey sites, gig apps, where you have to drive all over town. And then I found something different. It was a TikTok video it was a live stream about a woman my age who has always been self-employed. And she said something that changed everything. She said, I stopped trying to save my way to retirement and I started building my way there instead. And that piqued my interest because I was like, you know what? That makes sense. And you know what? Let me just be clear. It's not that I don't like working. I love working. I loved pretty much all the jobs that I've ever had. But I don't want to keep doing it in my 70s and 80s. It comes to a point that I just want to have my time to do what I want to do and not have to ask a boss. So that's why I wanted to find something that I can control. I can control my income. If I want to make more money, then I work harder. But at least it's my decision and I can control it and no one can take it away from me. So anyway, started listening. She was talking about something called master resale rights, digital marketing. And when I first heard about it, I almost clicked away because it just didn't make sense at the time for me. And it sounded complicated at first, but then when I dug in and did my research, it's actually one of the easiest businesses you can start because of the way that it's set up. And I know you know how franchises work. When someone buys a McDonald's, they didn't invent the burger. They didn't create the recipes. They didn't build a brand. McDonald's did all of that. But the franchise owner gets the right to use everything that McDonald's built. And they keep the profit for every sale. Master resale rights works the same way. But obviously, instead of us making burgers, we're making digital education programs that teach people how to build online businesses. Programs are already created, already proven, already selling, and you get the license to resell them, and you keep 100% of the profit. Not a percentage, every single dollar. And you don't have to share your profit with anyone. It's all yours, and it goes all in your bank account the day after you make the sale. And here's why this is so perfect for people that are our age. Because the programs are already done. The website's already done. The follow-up already done, and it's on autopilot. The training is done. You don't need to create anything. And you certainly do not need a big following. Most of us start from zero. You just need to learn how to share it. And the system teaches you exactly how to do that in 2 hours a day from your phone. And I know you're thinking, oh my gosh, that is too good to be true. But let me just tell you a quick story. I was in the office one day, physically at my job. I was waiting for a meeting to start. It was around 10:55 for an 11 o'clock meeting. And my phone buzzed, so I took a look at it. I'd made a $900 commission, $900 profit. All of that money was mine. I hadn't worked my business that day because I was at my job. But this is how this business works, because we teach you how to market, and then you let the system do the rest. The system does the explain, so you don't have to waste time doing it. And I walked out of work that day incredibly happy, because I knew that when I logged in my bank account the very next day, I was going to have $900, 900 extra dollars in my account, all because of this business. And what I love is there are people in our community that are Gen Xers, they're baby boomers, they're millennials, they're all ages, stay-at-home moms, professionals, laid off professionals, people who were exactly where I was, and they are now making real money. $300, $600, $900, $1,400 in keeping every single dollar. And let me tell you, when you get started in something like this, of course you're going to have your doubts. You're going to think I'm too old, or I don't have the skill for this. Trust me when I tell you, you've gone through harder things in your life. And just to put things in perspective, if you've ever started a job, day one, you know nothing. But after you've been there a couple years, you know what's going on, right? It's the same thing here. This stuff is easy to learn. You just have to take the time to learn and implement. And if you can do that, if you can be coachable, you can make this business work for you. But I want to tell you something. Every day you don't start is the day that you can't get back. And I know that sounds a little harsh, but let me show you what I mean. The person that started this business 6 months ago has already built an audience, authority, momentum, consistent, predictable income. The person who starts today, starting from scratch, it's a more competitive space with less time. Now imagine the person who waits another 6 months or keeps saying like I did, maybe next month, but then next month becomes never. Where are those people? They're still in the same place that they were. And that was my fear, because you know what? I think I just got so tired of people, and knowing that people our age were making an income online, I just needed to know what they were doing, because I wanted my life to change just like theirs. Definitely do your research, of course, but don't let your research become procrastination, because procrastination eventually becomes regret. Because I spent 6 months researching instead of starting. 6 months. 6 months of this business cost me around $24,000 that I could have had. All because I was too scared to start. That money could have gone towards my retirement or college, paid off debt. Don't let procrastination steal your retirement. And unfortunately, your retirement situation isn't going to change on its own. Inflation is going up. Healthcare costs, which terrifies me, is going to keep climbing. Social Security will be becoming less reliable. So if you are still here and you've been watching this whole video, it tells me that you are serious about changing your financial future and your retirement. So here's what I want you to do right now. Subscribe to this channel, like this video. And if you have any questions along the way, of course, comment, ask your question. But click on the link in the description below and get your free blueprint that's going to outline step-by-step what this entails. And trust me when I tell you, it's going to really open your eyes, and it's going to give you hope. Hope that you know that there are solutions out there. You just have to choose the best one and the one that makes sense for you.